Hello, doing a LeetCode. It's really easy. So it says 2,169 count operations to obtain 0. You're given two non-negative integers, num1 and num2. In one operation, you do that. In other words, return the number of operations required to make either num1 or num1 equals 0 or num2 equals 0. So what this is saying is if one number is bigger than the other, then you subtract the smaller number from the bigger number until it equals 0. And you count the number of times that you did that. Count operations. So make int count is what I'm going to do here. And since you don't know how many operations you might have to do, this would be the sort of time you might want to use a while loop. And the condition would be while num1 doesn't equal 0 and num2 doesn't equal 0. You want to do this loop while neither of them equals 0. And it's so easy. And then you put a if condition, and you can just read it in the question over here. So like if num1 is greater than or equal to num2, then num1 equals num1 minus num2, because num1 is greater than or equal to num2, so you want to do this in that situation. Then the else, you'd have a if else here and set up your other situation. Num2 is the alternative situation. So num2 is greater than num1 if it goes here, because otherwise it would be in the other part of the loop there. So num2 would equal num2 minus num1, because it's the alternate situation. And then you also have to count the number of times you do these things. So you'd put like count plus plus. I just want to take this whole thing, put it down here as well. Count plus plus. Okay. So let's see, right here's this bracket, it lines up to there. So after that, you'd want to put your return, and you return count. So yeah, this is a really easy one. Very straightforward what it's saying. It checks out. It passes the test case. We'll submit it. I have every confidence it'll work. It worked. Okay. So yeah, that was a really easy one. Very nice. Guess let's look it over. It's a 90% solution, so there's not too many ways to do it too much faster. Or, you know, there's ways. This is a good, straightforward solution, doing what it says. So yeah, while num1 and num2 do not equal 0, you see which number is bigger. And in the num1 case, equal than. You subtract the smaller one from the bigger one, because in this case, this is greater than or equals. So num1 is greater than or equal to num2. So num1 equals num1 minus num2. And then you count, because that's what the question's interested in, the number of operations, until you can get one of these numbers to be 0. And in the else condition, that means that num2 is greater than num1. So in that situation, you set num2 equal to num2 minus num1, because num1's the smaller number in this condition, because it's the alternate of this one. And you also have to count that as an operation as well. And it'll leave the while loop and return count when one of them gets to 0. So, yeah, pretty straightforward. It's nice having an easier one sometimes. I enjoy it. I enjoy more challenging ones too, but I enjoy a nice easy one sometimes too. Gives you good practice writing this stuff without wrestling too hard with all kinds of other things. It helps you get the basics dialed in. Okay, well, thanks for watching. That's it for this one. It was easy, short, simple, and it worked. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of the year. Although I'll be streaming more before the end of the year. Anyway, until next time.